Hola, mis estudiantes de Español 102. Here we go with the start of an experiment that I will continue to try to refine. I'm going to try this particular method of course delivery to you since I do rely heavily on PowerPoints, and I also think that it's helpful to you guys that I have those, but they need some explanation. So what I'm planning to do, at least for a little while, is to try to walk through the PowerPoint with you guys. What you might do is pause whenever there's a place for you guys to do something. So these don't have to be so long, but I would really like you to do the oral practice that we do in class. I'm thinking about having one day a week that I have you guys actually in class in real time to go over a lot of the oral practice that we've been doing for the week. I don't want to do it synchronously every class period because that's really cumbersome on your schedules. I realize that. You guys are in different time zones and whatnot. So what I'm hoping to do is maybe on Fridays, I don't know, I have to think this through a little bit more, take some of the oral questions that were from the PowerPoints from earlier in the week, and then going through some of those and having you come into the classroom, into my Zoom classroom, and doing those live. We'll see how that goes, but I will let you know. In the meantime, as you know, when you come into class, I've had questions up on the board, on the screen, which is what I have there for you right now. So I'm going to ask you the question, and I'd like you to answer, and then pause it, and then you guys can answer the question. See how your answer sounds. Okay, here's the first question. ¿Tuviste un examen médico el año pasado? Your response should be sí, tuve un examen médico, or perhaps no, no tuve un examen médico. Notice one thing, it's preterite, right? It's in the red, it's preterite. It's one of the irregular ones we've been talking about because I'm asking about en el año pasado. It's preterite, it's done, it's over. It's a very specific time I'm asking about. Nothing that's repeated over and over again, nothing that was going on in progress. So preterite, tuviste un examen. And notice that on the other red preterite verbs as well. They're all talking about a very specific time. Whereas the next two questions focus on the imperfect because it's talking about repetitive types of things. So I'll ask the next question, pause it, answer it how you would if you were face-to-face with me. ¿Ibas a la sala de emergencia mucho cuando eras niño o niña? Potential answer could be sí, iba a la sala de emergencia. I would hope that most of you would say no, no iba a la sala de emergencia. Some of you might say, pero una vez, one time, yo fui a la sala de emergencia. Notice that would be preterite because it would be something that would be a one-time thing versus I always would go there. Often, a lot, mucho. Next one. ¿Tomabas mucho medicamento cuando eras niño o niña? Again, did it happen over and over and over again? Go ahead and pause and then answer. Sí, tomaba mucho medicamento o no, no tomaba mucho medicamento. Otra pregunta. ¿Compraste algo en la farmacia esta semana? Pause. Sí, compré algo. O no, no compré nada en la farmacia. No compré nada. Remember the nada part? Notice it's preterite because I'm just talking about this week, esta semana. Next one. ¿Tuviste un dolor de estómago ayer? Sí, tuve un dolor de estómago o no, no tuve un dolor de estómago. ¿Tuviste la gripe esta semana? Pause. Sí, tuve la gripe o no, no tuve la gripe esta semana. Last two are just present tense. ¿Tienes un resfriado hoy? Go ahead, pause and answer. No, no tengo un resfriado hoy. O sí, tengo un resfriado. Y por último, generalmente estás de buena o de mala salud. Pause, answer. Generalmente yo estoy de buena salud. Okay, next slide. ¿Qué te duele? Okay, remember that verb we talked about the last time? I wanted to use that a little bit. Notice how I would answer that question. It's kind of like the verb gustar, right? So remember how we talked about that the other day when you had to like nurse a body part? Te duele la nariz? You guys have just one nose on the middle of your face, so that's why it's singular, just like te gusta, but just now you're going to use te duele. In your answer, sí, me duele la nariz. Te duele la garganta? Just have one of those as well. Sí, me duele la garganta. Okay, here's the next question though. Te duelen los pies? Pause it, give that response before I click the next one up. Sí, me duelen los pies. Or no, no me duelen los pies, perhaps. A tu madre le duele la cabeza. Okay, notice what happens here. It's no longer me duele or te duele. Now it's like what is hurting to her. So le duele. A tu madre le duele la cabeza. Notice that the answer is very similar. Sí, le duele la cabeza. Just like the question, le duele. And the answer, le duele la cabeza. Last question. ¿A ustedes les duelen las rodillas? Notice I'm asking this to all of you guys. Do your knees hurt all of you? No. Or I think the answer is sí. Sí, nos duelen las rodillas. Nos duelen. Okay. Next slide. It's getting close to Easter. You know those conejitos de chocolate that people like. You've probably seen this one before, but the question or the response, what he's saying to this other conejito is, "Ay, me duele el culo." Culo is a bad word. I'm going to cover it up and use the word that is the more appropriate word, trasero. El trasero, what I had before, is kind of a crude word for that body part back there. And notice what the compañero of this conejito says. Okay. You guys get it right with the ears. Okay, next slide. I have a song that I would like you to search for in, or you can go back to the regular PowerPoint. It's listed, it's shown in Blackboard as well. And you can click on this link and it'll take you right to it. I'm going to also post the lyrics for that and in a document that goes along with this. We're really close to Easter time. We're getting closer on the journey of Lent, going to Easter. And yeah, this song is about the sacrifice that Christ made for us. And it's just a beautiful song. And it actually takes some video from The Passion of Christ, that movie that was probably controversial in its day. It's really hard to watch. It's one of those movies that's super, super difficult because we don't like to, in our culture, look at the ugly. We don't like it. We don't like to look at the suffering of Jesus. We like to look at the empty tomb and the empty cross. We just don't want to focus on what he did to get to that point. So this song and the images that come along with it are a little difficult to watch. I'm not going to lie. But as you pause the video and click on it and watch it, read the lyrics, I'd like you to see what's going on in that video. So go ahead, pause this now. Either search in YouTube for it or go ahead and click on the link within the regular PowerPoint that's in Blackboard as well. And then when you come back to that, I would like to look at the next slide. So notice that this verse kind of jumps out at me from the theme of that song that you just listened to and watched. Notice it's got an imperfect and a preterite verb there. It's a verse that you probably committed to memory in English at some point, potentially when you were in Sunday school or whatnot. Pero Dios demuestra, God shows or demonstrates su amor por nosotros, his love for us, en esto, in this. This is how he does it. En que cuando todavía éramos pecadores, when we were still sinners, Cristo murió por nosotros. Look at the grammar in that. When I read my Bible in Spanish, sometimes vocab sticks out to me and it kind of impresses upon me a new truth of God's promises to me. In this case, in this verse, it's the grammar. Truthfully, to be honest, it's the grammar that sticks out to me because notice that phrase, éramos pecadores, when we were sinners, it's imperfect, it's ongoing. It's a continuing action that continues over and over and over again. Every day we wake up and we sin against the God who died on the cross for us. But notice then, what he did in red, the action that Christ took to die for us. Cristo murió por nosotros. That one dot on the timeline, we've been talking about timelines and dots as far as the preterite actions go. When Christ died on that cross, that changed everything about the éramos pecadores part. We were still sinners. We're going to be sinners. It's an ongoing condition of humanity to do that. But it's a one action that changed the course of all history of all time. So I just wanted to lead with that here today. Well, lead kind of in the middle. We did a lot of vocab stuff before. Just wanted to talk a little bit about that as you, think about this Lenten season and what Christ did for you. Okay, next slide, please. El accidente de José. I gave you that story the other day. I would like you to take that back out. And I'd like you to, it says, leer con compañeros en voz alta, in a loud voice, in a tall voice, which means aloud. Actually, since you don't have a compañero today, I would still like you to read it aloud. I'd like you to hit on the vocab words that come from that and read it for comprehension, of course. Read it for acknowledging the new vocab in there. Read it and notice as you are reading it the past tenses that are used there. What is preterite? What is imperfect? So you can kind of see the differences in why imperfect was used, why preterite was used. Is it describing something? Imperfect. Is it showing us a one-time action? Preterite. Is it giving how things always used to be? Imperfect. So watch for those little things as you read it. So go ahead and pause the video, find that story, read it again. If you did not get the story and you were gone, I will post that also on Blackboard. And now, as you go into the next couple questions, I'm going to put them all up here. Go ahead and put them all up. And I want you to see that. Notice that some of the questions are in the imperfect. ¿Qué hacía José? Cuando se cayó? There's a preterite, que dañó. Then we get an imperfect, estaba enfermo José en la ambulancia. And then we've got a couple preterites here, que hizo el enfermero, que olvidó el enfermero, con que se enfermó José. All of those preterite things have to do with preterite actions. You're going to answer in the preterite because the question's in the preterite. So take a second to pause the video and answer those questions about the story you just read. Okay, next slide. I have a few questions, but I think I'm going to go fast through those. Just if you want to come back to those, I may do those at the end of the week, but go ahead to the next slide if you would. And it's the story for today. So in the future, what I'm going to ask you to do is, I don't know what. I thought I was going to maybe have you turn this in online on Blackboard. I have to still think through this, what I'm going to have you guys do for preterite versus imperfect practice. Again, the main thing of this is that you are gauging your own progress as you go through this to see how you're doing with choosing the preterite versus the imperfect. Notice in this first story, era martes is a describing kind of phrase to set the stage for this story. Yo caminaba por el parque. The English helps out with this because it says in the English, I was walking through the park. The sun was shining, so there's that ongoing progressive action thing. El sol brillaba, estaba contento. It gives an emotions. Then notice it gets to preterite pretty quickly because we start having the action of the story take place. So stop the video right here and take a look, compare what you have to what you see on the screen. If you have questions, please reach out to me. Okay, next slide has to do with some new vocab we're going to add. We're going to skip that middle box in the middle column and go down to where it says adjetivos, adjectives. I'm actually going to pause this I'm going to stop this and I'm going to do one more video because I can only go up to 15 minutes. I'm going to go to one more video that just has this last 2 slides on there. So let me stop this one